Hey guys, welcome to day 24 of our creative journal entry. I'm going to do this a little differently today. I'm going to start my journal entry as I'm talking. And part of it is because this is a way that I actually embrace what this entry is about. So I have here titled Feel. And then under here it says time for an evolution. And what that means is basically, well, for anyone it can mean different things. But for me, what it meant was there was a time in my life that I wasn't able to embrace feelings or emotions in the way that were healthy. I wouldn't deal with them. I would basically just put them somewhere, lock them away, and leave them there. And I think what happens is you get to a boiling point where everything, the smallest little thing that happens almost sets you off emotionally because you've neglected to deal with the things that have come up over time or in your past. And, as far as and I'm not talking about just negative feelings. I'm not talking about negative emotions. I'm talking about the good things too. Love and joy and happiness and sadness and, hurt, all of those things combined. It just got to a point where I almost was like a robot. So for me, let me fix this a little bit here. So for me, one of the things that helped, of course, was art. But what I did with art was I actually began, similar to what we're doing, keeping almost like a journal, but on canvas, of my journey, my process, until I was able to see if I have a bobby pin somewhere because my hair's gonna drive me nuts. Hang on, guys. I gotta probably edit this part out. Or maybe not. There we go. Okay. So one of the things that, there we go, better. One of the things that I struggled with the most during that process of keeping my little art journal, canvas paintings, was to really be truthful and honest about exactly what was going on with me. So I want to take a little bit of a moment of time here to explain something to you guys. And we've been over this before a little bit about how creating art can be very much emotionally freeing and emotionally uplifting as well. But in order for that to happen, and in order for this entire process that we've been working on to work, nothing but honesty and truth has to come out of it. So today I'm going to share a little bit of my truth with you guys about this morning. And this was one of the topics I had already picked last night. So I kind of knew that we were going to head in this direction. I just didn't know that I'd be sitting here explaining all of this to you in this way. But I feel like you guys have been so extremely open and honest with me. And I have as well. But this morning, it's very easy for me to not want to share what I'm about to share. Each year, my daughter Mavia, around this time, we have to get special MRIs done. Now she used to go a lot more often, every so many months. And the last couple of years, it's been moved to yearly. But each time we go, we don't risk, but we have the chance of being told that something life-changing could have happened to some of the tumors that she has. She could receive, chemo, or she could have surgery, and lots of other serious medical things that could definitely change her life, my life, her family's life, and potentially take her life. So this time of year is very, very hard for me because I mentally have to kind of prep for the trip to the hospital, which we have to go out of town for and all that good stuff. So I am not always myself around this time of year. It's very, very hard for me. I am a very strong woman, but I'm human and I have emotions and feelings like everyone else. And it's this time that I really wanted to lock them away and throw them in the closet somewhere and turn the key and toss it. It's very simple it's very easy, it's easier to not acknowledge emotions and feelings, to not want to talk about it, to not ask for help, to not ask for support. It's easy for someone like me to kind of just be on autopilot around this time. So this morning, I realized that I was having an emotional, whatever you want to call it, issue when a friend was trying to talk to me, and I basically shut them out very quickly like that, and they picked up on it right away. And that's the normal thing I do when it comes to something like this, because it's so painful and hard for me to talk about. And so I'll use everything else that's going on to say, well, this is happening and this is why I'm upset, and it's my business and it's this and it's stress, it's financial, but when I calm myself and I open up and I acknowledge the truth of really what's happening inside of me, it's all fear-based. It's all fear of the what ifs. And I'm really good most of the time. I can pretty much say to myself, the what ifs haven't happened, toss that fear out the window, you're not living in the present, and I understand that. But there are times that I struggle, just like you, and I have to put myself in check. And that was done this morning. And I only felt that it was fair to share these things with you. I don't look for sympathy for anyone who feels sorry for me or my daughter. We are amazing and we are doing great. However, just like anyone else, we have stresses. We have things that we have to, deal with that unfortunately aren't pleasant. So what do we do with these emotions and feelings that are overwhelming for us? How do you handle your emotions and your feelings when you feel like they're pushing out of that closet door? You know, you've got so much packed in there, that door's not going to shut anymore. What do you feel like is a possibility for you to let that closet door open and kind of clean it out? And how do you deal with emotions? How do you cope with those kinds of emotions? Do you allow yourself to feel? Or do you go numb? I think sometimes when I think about the going numb process, which, I have done and do, I think it sometimes has a lot to do with the survival mode that I feel like I probably go in. It's like, if I'm a mother of 3 kids and I'm trying to run my business and work all these hours and do the things that, us working moms do, I don't have time to sit and be sad or upset about the what ifs, or sad at the fact that just I've got to deal with the fact that my daughter has an F. And so when is it time to open up that closet and deal with those emotions? Do you do it one thing at a time? Do you let it all come out and just fold down to the floor and just cry hysterically? Do you get 2x4s and then nail that up and keep that closet door really shut? Do you keep putting up the walls? How do you cope with your emotions? How do you deal with feeling? And how do you evolve from here? And so what that brings me to altogether is an evolution process. And it's a constant process. So I had mentioned before about the Vivian Red series and how there was the series was called Becoming Vivian Red, The Evolution of Karrie Evenson. And that was the first kind of start of my journey into open truth, honesty, and feeling. And so I don't say you just once evolve and that's it. I say that you continue to evolve over and over. And part of that is dealing with feelings and dealing with emotions, especially the things that you don't like and that are painful. So how do you come to an evolution? How do you evolve as a human being emotionally with feelings? What works for you? And how do you get to a point where you feel okay to talk about it and deal with it? So, okay, so now I'm going to kind of draw. So this part will be like, probably speed it up a little bit. I was going to do it while I was talking, but you know how I just don't plan things out like that. So anyway, I'm going to use my original charcoal and pencil and stuff to sketch this first part, because sketching was always my first and foremost art form when I first began with art, and it always was the one thing that I knew that I could simply get those thoughts and feelings out right away with just very little art supplies. So here we go. I'm going to stand up now, and I have to probably move my camera so you can see a little bit better. Okay. All right, guys. So you get started and hit me up. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know how you feel. And thanks for listening. It's not always easy to talk about, and I know sometimes I seem a little scattered because I really am looking at myself in this camera, because it's hard to look in this little lens thing here. And so I feel like I'm talking to myself most of the time, which kind of makes me feel a little cuckoo. So anyway, share your thoughts with me, and I'd like to learn from you as much as you learn from me. It's inspiring and it's helpful, and you know, we're all one here. We're just on the same journey, just like anyone else, and you know, let's see what we come up with. Thanks, guys.